Jai Hind, all the SSB aspirants. So today we are going to talk about your first day, which is your screening day, which is the most important day, because if you clear through your screening test, then only you are moved to stage 2. So as you all would know that this is divided into two tests, that is your intelligence test and picture perception and discussion test. So we are going to discuss today about picture perception and discussion test. So before that, I would like to say, even though you've not performed really nicely in your intelligence test, as you may think so, do not get disheartened. Do not give up. Give your best shot here as well. Okay, so because this is the stage wherein around 40 to 50% of candidates would be taken further based on their performance and their intelligence test. So it is a combined score. How that scoring is done is a different matrix. So how this test is conducted, we're going to see that. During the test, somewhat a hazy picture will be shown to you. You are to observe the picture, the emotion if you can see, the background, all the characters which are shown in the picture very carefully during these 30 seconds and formulate a story around it. You will be given around a 4 minutes time to write on your story. So you have to write a the introduction, your main body, and the conclusion of the story. After you are done writing your story, you will be taken for a group discussion. There'll be a division of the whole batch will be divided into some groups around 15 to 20, 15 to 18 members, and you will be told to sit in a semicircle form, and each candidate will be given 60 to 90 seconds to narrate their individual story. And once all the candidates are done narrating the story, the group has to start the group discussion and arrive at a common story. So here the aim of the group is to arrive at a common story. This whole process is being watched, assessed by all the three assessors, that is your IO, interviewing officer, GTO, and the psychologist. I would like to give a tip here. So while after writing your story, and while you are moved to the group discussion place, there will be some time gap which you will have for yourself. During that time, do not waste it talking to other candidates about what they have written and what they have not, what they have perceived. That is immaterial, because this is the time you must use for practicing your own story, for your narration in your mind. Rehearse it. It really helps in psychology. If you rehearse it 2 to 3 times, it definitely stays in your memory, and you're able to present your story in a more confident manner. So this is somewhat is the image of how you will be seated in a semicircle, and these are your assessors who will be sitting and assessing you. My advice would be cheerful, sit up straight, don't slouch, avoid putting others down, do not criticize anybody's story. You are not there to criticize anybody's stories, that is their perception. And if you feel nervous, just take some deep breaths and get back to action. Keep your josh high and spirit high. Why? Because this is the chance. Okay, during the group discussion, you can use sentences like, I would like to add to what you have said. I perceive it differently in my opinion. Like when you are in disagreement with someone. So you don't say that I disagree with you, or you can say, I perceive it little differently. My opinion is this. Or if you want, if you see you have spoken enough and there's someone who's sitting quiet and looking for an opportunity to speak, so you can say, let's hear the opinion of chess number so and so. So these are some tips. We'll see what are common mistakes which are normally made by some candidates. Since it is a very stressful environment, many good candidates who've done really well, scored well in their intelligence test, they won't even utter a word. Then you will also see that there are some who would narrate a preconceived story which may not even relate to the picture that was displayed and what they have written actually during their picture perception writing test. Then some, they are very good at narrating their own story. However, they won't take part in a group discussion. Then there are some who are over dominating at the cost of others. They'll not let others speak. They think that they have to make all their points, and sometimes they will repeat their points. which is very undesirable. So, who is an acceptable candidate? Someone who perceives the picture correctly. If you are seeing two men, you see it as two men, and build story around that. If you see a cat in a picture, you perceive it as a cat. Then make a positive story around it. And the narration has to be very important. You have to narrate it very confidently. You've reached so far, you've narrated your story confidently. If you do not take part in a group discussion, then you may lose out. So it is very important to show your enthusiasm to arrive at one story by participating in the group and presenting your thoughts, your ideas. So, what are the attributes which are seen by the assessors in a candidates? So, they see how intelligently you have crafted the story, the imagination that you have used, the draft, if the story is making any sense or not. Then your self confidence, because you are in a very uncomfortable zone, sitting with a large group, assessors are watching you. I would say just forget somebody is watching you, just give your best. Then power of expression, the power of expression not only in narrating your story but also during the group discussion, how powerfully you express your thought or engage in the discussion. Then zeal and urge to perform should be seen in your body language while you are participating in the whole activity. The social adjustment and concern for others view, if there are views of someone, if there is someone's story that is really good, do not hesitate to take it further as a group story. Then ability to lead the group in a positive direction, often you will see people are discussing and the time is, the clock is ticking and you fail to give a common story to the assessors. So in that situation, be very mindful of the aim of the group, that you have to bring a story to the assessors. So try to intervene and take the group to a positive direction. Then ability to influence the group, that is your personal charisma, your personal confidence, and ability to maneuver the discussion during the discussion time. Now let's see some examples. Now here is one story. What do you perceive of this story? I'll not tell the story, I'll just give you the gist which is to be written. One can perceive it anything. So what I could perceive, female action as nurse and war returnees, because what I can see these men as soldiers, and I see that they are washed to a sea beach, maybe they are sailors. And what is my brief? Nurse Nancy, a war nurse, reaches out to war returnee soldiers to inform them about the nearby camp, providing medical assistance and food and shelter. Then I'll build upon. First, I will introduce her background, showing her from a military background. Then, how she was taking a walk with a girl, she spot these men lying on the beach, how she helps them, and how she imagine her future. Basically, she becomes a renowned doctor, help others, establish some training institutions like that. Now see this next story. This is about two men fighting and two men are watching it. What I could come up with, everyone has their own imagination. There's nothing right or wrong about it. So what I could see, male 22 action wrestling competition story in brief. Karan, an aspiring wrestler, invited the national selectors to village to witness the talent there. So I will, while writing the main story, I'll give background of Karan, then about the present scene and what his future looks like. Now here is a picture wherein you can see there is a lady, she looks sick, there are medicines that are kept, there is a very beautiful scenery, and there is a boy who is talking to the lady. What I could come up with is male 15, action caring for sick. Story in brief, Ali, who is a military aspirant, caring for his ill mother by reminding her of her timely medicine, placing a bright view picture on the wall to enhance her mood. So I will build upon the boy, his childhood, what are his dreams since he is a military aspirant, and how he achieves that. So probably I will take him to a medical side. Now, this picture clearly shows an accident. So, there is a boy who's lying down, a bicycle, a car, and there are few others in the scene. So, if you see the boy, he looks to me, he looks like a boy because he's wearing shorts and there is a tie also. It could be a a man who's like in cycling shorts. But to me, the main character is not the boy, is the lady, his mother, Gita's son. Rahul slipped while riding bicycle. So, story in brief for me would be Geeta's son Rahul, a cycling enthusiast, was preparing for a cycling expedition after school on a busy road and slipped. So, what does Geeta do? What is the story of Geeta? I will bring out about that. I will write about that history, past of Geeta, the present situation, and then how. What does she do about the situation? So this is from my side, a little effort to help you guide you through the screening PP and DT test. I hope I could help you with some insights. And trust me, these are my stories. Whatever stories you are going to make, it should come from your own personality, your own thought process. And how do you enhance your thought process, your personality? It is by having some good hobbies, by reading, and by being aware of the social issues. You will see automatically what you are naturally inclined towards the causes. And all this, if you make through your first screening test, then in the stage 2, when you are shown around some 11 pictures and one blank, all all that is there in your unconscious mind will come up in those stories. So my advice would be, read as much as you can, be aware of the social issues, and see what the issues that you yourself connect well with. That would come from your growing up, the environment, the things, the challenges that you have seen. All that will emerge as your imagination. So do not be guided by the stories which are taught to you during your coaching or something. That's all up to you, but my suggestion would be, try to imagine as much as while you are practicing. You will know yourself better, and it will also help you in analyzing your own personality. So if you want to have one-on-one session, do write to me. I will arrange for a Zoom call. Till then, Jai Hind.